Okay, now we've got a method to get the online users. What we'll do is we'll go back to our presence service, and I'm just going to close the others to clean things up. And what we want to do here is we're going to create an observable. And what we're going to do is say private online users source equals, and what we'll use for this one is a behavior subject. And this is a variant of subject, and a subject is a generic observable. And this one requires an initial value and emits its current value whenever it is subscribed to. So this one is going to work quite well for what we're doing here. So we'll use the behavior subject, and what this is going to be is a string array of our usernames. And what we'll do is we'll just initialize this to an empty array. And then what we'll do is we'll create a property called online users, and we'll say dollar because this is going to be an observable, and we'll say this dot online user source, and we'll say as observable. And then what we can do is we can come down and create another listening event, and we can say this dot hub connection on, and we can say get online users. And then what we'll do inside here is we'll say usernames, which is going to be a string array. And what we'll do is we'll say this dot online user source dot next, and then we can update our behavior subject with the current list of online users. And then what we can do, we can go across to our components. We'll do this in the member card component, and we'll also add an indication in the member detail component if a user is indeed online. So what we'll do, we'll head across to our member card component first of all. And what we're going to need to do in here is inject the presence service. So what I'll do is I'll say public, because what we'll do is we'll just access the observable of the online users using an async pipe. So what we'll do, we'll say public presence, and we'll say presence service, and let's bring this down. And then what we can do is go across to our member card template. So we'll say member card component HTML. And what we'll do inside here is we'll update our icon and give it a green color. So what we'll do, we'll just bring this down and then we'll wrap it in a span and cut the icon and move this inside. And what we'll do for our span is we'll say, and what we'll do inside here, we'll use square brackets and specify class, and then we'll say is dash online, which is a class we'll use. So if the user's online, then we're going to apply this class to this span. And what we'll do is we'll set this equal to, and we'll open quotes, and then we'll need to do this in parentheses, and we'll say presence dot online users, and then we'll use the async pipe. And what we'll do is we'll say includes, and we'll say member.username. And then all we need to do is give this class some styling. So we'll head over to the member card component CSS. And what we'll do inside here, because Font Awesome doesn't come with blinking functionality, it comes with spinners, but that looks a bit weird if you're spinning your user icon around over and over again. What we want this to do is blink. So what we'll use is keyframes, and we'll say fa-blink, and inside here we'll specify that at 0% we're going to have the opacity as 1, and we'll say at 100% we're going to specify the opacity to be 0.4. And then under this we can specify our isOnline class. And inside here, we'll give this some animation. And what we'll do is we'll use our fa-blink as the animation we're going to use. And we'll specify 1.5 seconds. And then we'll say linear and infinite. And then we'll give it a color. And we'll just use RGB. And we'll say 1 and 189 and 42. And what we should be able to see is this take effect. So if we go across to the browser, then we can see that Todd is online. And it's subtle, but it is blinking. And if I go across to Todd's browser, then we can see that Lisa is online. And if I change my location to Google and I go back, then we can see that Todd is disconnected and now Todd's not showing as online. And if I go back and go back to where I was before, then we'll see that Todd appears and he's showing as online in his icon. Let's just do the same for the member detailed as well, and we'll just put something inside here to show that the user's online. So I'll head back to VS Code, and what we'll do, we'll just go over to the member detailed component. And what we'll do here is, it looks like we're not using our member service inside here. That's grayed out. So we'll swap this, and we'll say public and presence service. And then what we can do is head over to our member detailed component template. And inside here, what we'll do, just at the top, below the card body, what we'll do is we'll just have a div and we'll say margin bottom of 2. And inside here, we'll just add an a-ng if. And once again, we'll open up parentheses and we'll say presence and online users, and we'll use the async pipe. And we'll just use the same trick again. We'll specify includes and then say member.username. And inside this div, what we'll do is we'll just have an icon and say FA and FA-user-circle, and then say text-success. And then to the right of the icon, we'll just say online now. And if we go take a look at the browser, then we should see that I'm missing the text, but if I refresh the page, I'm sure it'll come back, and we can see that Todd is online now. And if we go and take a look at another user, let's say Bob, then Bob doesn't have the presence because Bob's not online. And now we've got the online presence in place. Fairly subtle, but it does show that the user's online. What we'll take a look at next is we're going to take a look at our messages. And when a user sends a message to another user, then let's just go across to Lisa, who is also online and also needs a refresh because this browser isn't playing nicely. But what we would like to see is when Todd sends this message, then we would obviously like to see it in this browser popping in live. And that's what we're going to take a look at next.